Hello. Bonjour. So, pleased to see you with us today. We'll be sharing some insight for building, using both AI and no-code apps. Are you all familiar with or at ease with English, French, English? Okay. So basically, what we will be talking about today is how we can use this new technology that we see. We all heard about ChatGPT with Midjourney and so on. So we have a lot of AI new tech that is being introduced into the market, being used, and how this technology can be implemented in addition to no code to achieve some very interesting results. So where are we today? Today, we have one choice. It's either we adapt or we fail. We need to change. We need to change fast. Some years ago, what we used to do is used to have some competitors. So we have, let's say, a market, fixed market, with fixed expectations, evolving slightly in the, let's say, in time. But mainly, our main challenge was, I need to be better than my competitor. Today, it's quite different. Everything is changing. The context is changing, the world is changing, the weather is changing, everything is changing. And we need to move very, very, very fast. We can't just be, let's say, adapting. We need to lead the way. We need to see things before the others. And we need, whenever, whatever is changing, we need to be able to change and to be able to adapt to whatever we have. We see societal shifts. Things are moving very fast also on the way people are thinking, doing things. We need in the let's say some years ago, we used to have projects that lasted for years, and we had to take it slowly. We could plan, do our let's say specifications, do some development, design, develop, test, and everything slowly. But now we can't. We can no more have this, let's say, economy or allowance availability to be able to do this. We need always to keep in mind that even if you are the best of breed at one time, some short time afterwards, you can be just a complete failure. Kodak was one of the best, let's say, pictures and photo makers, everything. And then they didn't see the numerical shift in the industry. Now they are completely out of business. And it's really important to keep in mind that when you don't adapt, it's easy, you just fail. And as in nature, if we it's really adapt or perish. And it's a rule in nature. So what do we need? We need 5 things. We need more agile and fast methodologies. We need robust and inclusive technologies. We need to build for change. Everything we build has to be built for change. Whatever we build, from day one, we know it will change. From day one. It's not, I start and I say, okay, it will change maybe in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. No, it's really something that will have to change as we are building it, it may change. We need to build it fast, as I explained earlier, and we need to have no compromises on security. That's something which is really, really important. We're starting to see so much, let's say, problem with LLMs, with large language models, whatever we are using. We have security breaches, we have security issues, we have legal issues, we have a lot of things that have to be tackled from the basis of whatever is being realized or what has been built. So what have we moved from? So we moved from a world where we will, of course, write an RFP, request for proposal, scope of work, a lot of things. Then we move to analysis, specification of the business. We move to design whatever needs to be done, coding, testing, deploying, then moving to support. And when you look back, let's say 5, 10 years ago, we used to have projects that lasted for years. So if you take a large-scale project, it would take 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. We even heard about projects lasting for 10, 15 years to finish the project. So this methodology is no more adapted or can be used today. It's not possible. Why? Because today, when you start specifying, analyzing your business, before you finish the analysis, it has already changed. When you start coding, whatever you have specified might have changed. We have changes in months. Earlier, we had changes in years. Rules, regulations, market, everything is moving so fast, we need to have a way to adapt in a very, very clear and fast manner. So we moved to something more, let's say, agile, something more easy to use, to adapt, and so on. And with this method, well, you know, DevOps, agile methods, and so on, what we did is we took all the different phases of a project, and what we did is we made them faster. So we do faster coding, we build, we plan, we test, release, and then come back. And we start to have, let's say, very fast applications that can be used, and we have the feedback of the end users very early in the project lifecycle. So this is what we are being, let's say, used today in most of our organizations, building applications, and these applications are built based on or following this methodology. This methodology, of course, did help in reducing the failure in projects, did manage to adapt quite fast to changes in the market, but it's still too slow. It's still not fast enough. As I said, in our project, for example, when we start a project with a customer, most of the time, during the specification and coding, let's say this part here, you have changes. In this part also, you need to be able to move back, be able to prototype very fast, build very fast, and move to next stages. So now we're talking about something where you will be able to squeeze parts of the way where you're doing things. So instead, and that's what we are doing with WorksPlatform, instead of coding and building, that's something that has been merged. So we do it one way. Whatever you are building it, you are not coding it, but you are specifying it, and you don't need to code. There is no code generation. We don't have code that will be generated from WorksPlatform. Whatever you build is already runnable. Whatever you design, you already can see the result. So you merge two phases which allow you to go faster, to show your customers. With Works, for instance, during the design phase, during the business analysis phase, we build most of the app during the business analysis phase. We only add business rules, business logic at the end. But everything is built during this same phase. Why? Because a customer, as you all know, the feedback you will get from him is really what you will have in once he sees the screen, the result, and he starts using it. Then he says, okay, no, that's not how I imagine it. That's not how I want it to be. I need this to be changed, and I need to see the results. So you need to change it and show him the results live. You can't tell the customer, okay, well, you can tell him, but it will take you time. You can just say, okay, you need these changes, okay, we'll write them down. You go, and you go to the previous code, build, test, code, build, test, and so on. This can be shortened, and that's what we offer with Works. With Works, we build it in the same meeting, in the workshop we have with our customers, and we build whatever is needed for their application. So if they need some changes, changes can be made right on time, can be made during the workshop. Changes can also be done during testing. So once we go to testing phase, I mean, most of the thing has already been done, then we need to move to the, let's say, pre-release phase. You still have changes. And these changes need to go into the app, need to go into the application, to the result, very, very fast. And that's what we allow you to do with WorksPlatform. There is also one very interesting thing, is that in this part you have deploy and operate. So you deploy, of course, your application, and then you need to supervise it, operate it, use it. And then when you have a feedback, then you go back to your, let's say, your specifications, coding, modifications, and so on. So basically, also this part can be merged and squeezed, and we can gain some time from this. So once you have validated whatever you have done, you just send it to production. And that's direct. There is no deploy phase. The deploy phase is inside your product. It's inside your whatever you have built. It's inside the platform. So you can use it, and you can do whatever you want with it very, very fast. So this was the first point we talked about. So we need a more agile and fast and a faster methodology. Next thing is, of course, technology, which I'll be talking about. And the third thing is the empowering of non-technical workforce. This is very, very important. Why? Because it's the non-technical workforce that has the business logic, that knows what needs to be done, that operates on a daily basis, that uses the apps, that is in the contact of their customers, their users, the internal users, and so on. So with Works, you can use all your power force, technical and non-technical, to build the apps and to show whatever information and whatever modifications need to be done. Also, with Works, you can build very, very interesting and very complex systems. We're not talking about web services. We're not talking about only simple processes and so on. We're talking really heavy business processes, businesses like banking system, like large government applications, like freight management of a port, and so on. So you have social security systems and so on. So it's really built for large-scale applications. And this allows all your users to be a builder of your future systems. So you have your technical workforce and your non-technical workforce that can use Works to build whatever applications and systems and information systems you want. Today, 70% of our integration team, people working on our projects, are business analysts. And the time it takes to build, to set up the application in Works is less than the time it takes to get the business and to do the analysis of the business. It's no more 20%, 25% to 30 or 50%. And with that, we go to the last point we have, which is about governance and compliance. And of course, when you are building an enterprise-grade application, this enterprise-grade application has to comply with legislations, has to comply with internal governance, and has to have checks and balances inside, built in the platform. So it's not something that you will add on top of your platform. It has to be inside it. It has to be secure by default. It has to be used and usable and to comply with every part of your governance and have screens, have information, have, let's say, controls, analysis, and so on that can go out of your applications that you can use as your supervision from your platform, so that you have a complete view and 360 view of all the features you have in your application and the use of it. So WorksPlatform integrates these safeguards and all the screens and modules that allow you to be able to see what's happening, who has access to which data has been accessed, which data have been modified by whom, from which screen, when was it done, was he able to do it, was there a problem? You can have statistics, you can have audits, automatic audits that can be generated from your system. Okay, so we'll move to our first demo. So this is what we are doing today. So building applications. Just wait for the play. So this is, for example, how we build an application, okay, from using Works. So this is a web-based building app. You don't need to install whatever or anything on your desktop or on your laptop. Everything is web-based and the same environment. You can have the environment to see the building and all the results of what you are building at the same time. So here we are building a process. So this is for an insurance company, and this is a process to formalize or to, let's say, contract an insurance product. So you build your process. Your process can have as many stages, as many steps, tasks, human tasks, automatic tasks, business rules linked to it, and so on. So everything can be built over there. So once you have built your process, you can say, OK, what's the data I'm manipulating? What's the data I will need to manage, to manipulate, to add, update, and so on in my process? And you create your different components. What's very important is that your business components are not linked one-to-one to screens, as you might say in so many other products. This allows you for a very high level of flexibility and adaptability and evolution. So you define your components, you define your different attributes. There are some color issues on the screen. So you have, so we started with our process, then our business components. From the business components, we move to screens. And your screen, you will be able to design your screen and link your screen to whatever data you want to use inside your screen. This is one thing that allows you to change your business logic, to change your design without changing the data you have. So I can change my screen, my UX, without changing business logic or business rules. I can change my components without changing my screen, and so on. So here we are adding a very simple, let's say, event on a screen with a if and then, or when and then, and I can add it through just drag and drop. So I don't need to write code or whatever to be able to implement screen events or business logic. So the first one we've seen is business events, or screen events, sorry, and this one is business logics. So I can say easily, when such and such conditions, then you do such and such. Just from our design, you don't need to write any line of code. And of course, also, if you have formula or whatever, then you can just express your formula in algebraic format, and it's enough to have your end result. So here we choose our fields, choose the formula if we need some formula, save, and that's it. So whatever you do is you define what you want. So you imagine a solution and you describe it to Works through the screens and elements that are given to you through Works. So the process we have just seen, we can look at the end result. Next slide, please. So this is the result. Of course, we have built something very quick. The time you have seen is almost the same of building the real application. So it takes a few minutes to get something up and running with business logic, components, screens, and everything. And everything not only ready for use, but also ready for evolution and modification. So here we are just choosing the different steps and so on, and using the app with all the steps and all the results we have. Of course, whatever you see is can be customized, look and feel, colors, CSS style sheet, whatever. Everything is customizable. Labels can be customized. Everything you see on screen can be customized, can be modified and adapted, and multilingual. Thanks. So this is where we have been till, let's say, last year. This year we've been working, and that's the first time we announce our speech-to-app modules and features that we have just added to Works. And this feature uses AI, and that's the combination AI with NoCode that allows you to go even faster in developing and deploying whatever application you need. So voice to app is making building apps smarter and going from weeks to days, from months to weeks, to do whatever business you want, and to go very, very fast with your with your app, but also, which is really time-consuming, documenting whatever have been done. And documenting whatever have been done can be generated automatically from Works. And you don't need, just reads whatever descriptions are in there and generates all user documentation in whatever language, of course, supported languages you need. So we'll go directly to the demo. Sound, okay.
Hello, Works.
So of course, as you would
Hello,
say,
how can I assist you today?
Create new app.
so as you would tell Alexia or
That is great.
Siri
I would
or
be happy
whatever,
to help. Could you please provide more details about the type of application you have in mind? What is its purpose, features, and any specific requirements?
Smart generator.
Sure, I will do.
Right. Create a healthcare reimbursement request sheet.
Sure, I will write.
Right. Each sheet has a patient and a list of medications.
Sure, I will write.
Smart generator.
Sure, I will do.
Okay.
okay, so the time you've seen here is what we have accelerated, because depending on whatever needs you have, then you will need to, the AI will take some time to go through your specifications, to go through its internal, let's say, working, and provide whatever needed and all the changes. What's really important, and this gives us, takes us back to securing the application.
Just close the window and see.
And I'll explain this to you. So just remember the XML we've just seen here.
So this is the workflow that have been generated with input, review, approval.
I didn't specify any workflow. So this is the workflow that have been
So we have
provided, suggested by the AI, and this is the components, business components that have been specified by the AI.
We can move to the next step and generate our app.
So basically 3 steps. You tell it what you want, you preview, review what have been suggested, and you generate your result.
Main menu.
So now we're going to see what's the result we have. So this is the process that have been generated. We've seen the 2 attributes. So you just suggested some very few attributes. Of course, more data you give it, more suggestions and better results you will have. And this depends also on, it takes also time to process and manage. There is many more things to be used in addition to large language models. So the LLM is used to understand what the end user is suggesting, wants to have in his app, and all the rest is other types of processing.
Great.
So this is basically an app or a process. I can tell the AI to add more attributes. I can tell the AI to change the workflow. I can tell the AI to do all sorts of things. Of course, everything is interaction. And we're moving from, let's say, a week of work to have a process up and running to a few, let's say a couple of days to do the same thing, or even less, far less than this. We have managed to do things in half a day, 4 hours
Hello.
work.
How can I assist you today?
So I'll go back to the XML we've seen earlier.
New app.
Whatever the pause, please.
You please.
Thanks. Thank you. Whatever is being suggested and generated by the AI goes always through a filter of inside Works to check for security, to check for that nothing that is not supposed to be integrated. Because now, once you are speaking to the AI, you can tell it whatever you want. And some very smart people are already starting to imagine specific sentences that you can tell the AI, which the AI will put inside whatever is being generated. And of course, once you read no more what has been or what is being generated, then it's an issue. So you need to have your safeguards, you need to have post-processing, you need to have checks and balances, you need to have things that need to be changed in the details of whatever is being generated. So you can't just take whatever the artificial intelligence is giving you and take it as granted that it's working and it's nice, and you can just go with it to go live and to production. You need to check for a lot of things. Okay, can we move please to next slide? Just a second one. Sorry. So I'll just finish with this and open for questions. So what we suggest you to do is start your journey, embrace AI and no-code today, and get all the benefits of this really interesting shift in technology and new technology that is being suggested and proposed and offered to you. Thank you, and if you have some questions. Sure.
Thank you very much. Once the XML file is generated, can we choose the language in which it will be programmed, or is it how does it work actually?
Yeah, so the whole interface of Works can be customized. So you can write in whatever language you want, and you can build it. It's not only the end user, also the full build, let's say, app is fully customizable in your own language. So it can be in French, in Arabic, in Hebrew, in English, and so on.
Programming language, I mean Java and so on, is it completely open, or
you mean
like
the
WorksPlatform? What language do you use?
WorksPlatform is built with Java. Yeah, it's Java.
When you said Works create documentation, so what kind of documentation? Is it a technical documentation, functional documentation? And if it creates functional documentation, is it creating which level? Is it creating a component level, or it can guess what your whole process is doing?
In fact, we generate both things. So we generate functional documentation, and we generate end-user documentation. So the functional documentation, it takes what we have done till now is what you described. So it just describes, just give you back whatever information you have already entered. So your components, your screens, your business rules, and so on. Now with AI, the AI can read inside the business rules, for instance, and tell you, okay, this rule you have here, this is what it does. So for instance, if you have a business rule that controls a field or that checks if such a status is on, and such date is in the past and so on, then it does something. So this business rule will be read by the AI and then write it in human language. So we go beyond just the information, or let's say the technical information we have inside Works.
To construct business processes, how do you connect the business data?
Yeah, so business data is connected, as we've shown earlier. You have your components, you have your businesses, and you have your screens. And once you say, OK, this business process will use at this step this screen, then it will update the data that you have linked behind it. It's this very loosely coupled architecture that allows us to be very, very flexible.
I mean, there is real files, and do you make like API or something? How do you link the data, the business data, real data to Works?
You mean where it's stored?
Yes.
It's in a regular relational database. Okay. So you can use Oracle, okay, Postgres, SQL, whatever you want. All data stored is readable data. There is no binary stuff. There is no hidden stuff. Your data is really your data. You can have your own, let's say, tools to analyze it. If you have corporate tools that allows you to check that all the data respect some very specific or are legally, you need to provide some information. Everything is open. Everything is readable and the way you want it.
Thank you. When the regulations changes, the legal environment changes, do you integrate the new and update all the frameworks in a way, or do we have to upload the new regulations so that the AI checks if the processes we have are still okay, or if they need to be adapted, and so do we receive notifications?
So for the time being, checking regulations is done through, let's say, non-AI modules for the time being in Works, as we are adding more and more features into Works. So we're just launching this quarter, so the fourth quarter of 2023, this speech-to-app module, and then we are adding the other modules which are in beta mode. So for the time being, there is no feedback of the regulations and legal into the AI for the checks and yeah.
I have a series of questions. Sure. I'm going to try to sum it up. I'm wondering about the usability and the user friendliness of your interface. I feel like it's not very friendly. What's the feedback of your users on that? Do you intend to improve it? And what's the learning curve? Because I see some terms that seems to be specific to WorksPlatform, like attributes and this stuff. I feel like it's like a very specific language. So how's the learning curve? And I also see you have a lot of clients that are from public administrations in Morocco, for instance. Is it something that's targeted to this kind of big and established organizations? Or can SMBs also be your clients, which leads me to the third question. What's your pricing plan?
Okay, so the first one is about, so your first question is about the, let's say, friendliness and so on. Of course, there is always a trade-off between the complexity you need to manage and the ease of use of your screens. So we need to find a trade-off between these. When you see very, very, very simple screens to design with, then obviously you can't do very complex things with whatever you are building with. So that's why we are moving to AI, so that you can specify things easier. So the human machine interaction will become more, will go further from the machine and closer to the human. So you can speak to it. For instance, if you want to add a business rule, you would just speak out. So you just say, okay, please control or works add control field such and such and such are are mandatory, for instance, or need to be such dates need to be in the future. And just saying these words will generate a business rule in your environment, in your works. So basically, of course, the screen, because we go very far and very inside complex, building complex applications. Okay, so this is why we need to offer, of course, a screen that allows you all the buttons, all the tuning you want to have inside your app. Which leads us to the second question. Could it be used by SMBs and so on? Yes, we do have customers that are also SMBs. Their use cases is quite different because with SMBs, their need is when you look at the market, then they will have first application for HR, and then a second for accounting, then a third for whatever business they are doing, and fourth for CRM, and then a fifth, and so on. So they even they are very small, they will need many applications, and so many applications need to be managed, need to be integrated, need to be used, need to be maintained, and so on. So it becomes very quickly a challenge, especially for SMBs that are growing very fast. So when you're SMB and you're not growing very fast, you manage to manage all these things. But then when you are growing very fast, it's very difficult for you. So with Works, which lead me to your third question, with Works we have two different licensing policies. So you have the classical, let's say, license based with maintenance and so on, and you have a subscription model. With subscription model, you can start small and then grow as your business grows. So we have both licensing policies.
I was asking another question about the learning curve. How long does it take to start getting used to the software? And
so basically for, let's say, middle or average complexity, after 1 week, you can start building your apps. So in 1 week, you can start building your apps. We have customers that have had Works for 7 years now and have been using it, implementing whatever processes, businesses, making their own changes, doing everything from their side. And of course, there are people been changing. There is a lot of turnover in the teams nowadays. So it's the learning curve. Of course, to do very simple things and let's say average in complexity things takes 1 week, let's say 2 weeks. If you need to go very further, like being able to build some connectors with other systems, with external systems, when you need to do some very fancy, let's say write some very fancy business rules and so on, then obviously you will need some more time.
Hi. I have two questions about the new AI features. Mm-hmm. So the first question is, the end user is going to be able to use the new AI features. So is he able to speak to the AI and use the processes that are already built? And the second question is, so we're going to speak with the AI, and all the data is going to be sent to, I think, the work servers behind. Is there any like security features that are implemented to use this data?
So I'll start with the second question. Works can be deployed on premises and on cloud, your own cloud or our cloud. So it depends on the security regulations you have inside your let's say, company or organization, and we comply with this regulations. So you can have it on premise. So if it's on premise, then everything is on your side, and you have, let's say, the classical issues, security issues that you can handle the classical way. The second question, or the first question, was about when we build something with AI, can we still open it in the regular, let's say, modules and do whatever changes we want? Yes. Whatever is generated goes into these modules, can be changed through these modules, can be changed through AI that exists inside these same modules, or can be changed manually. So if I generate a process, then I can go to the modules that we have seen in the first demo, and we can change whatever we want. If I don't like, let's say, a step, I can change it. If I need to change a business rule, I do it. If I need to change a screen or some wording and so on, then all these things can be changed through your modules. Yes.
So thank you. I just want to understand how all the modification that we make through AI, are they directly interfaced to the user screen? Because I'm imagining the situation where I need to make change, but I don't want to make it visible to the end user. Are we working into separated environments, or is it directly published? I just want to understand the limitation.
It's two separated environments. You build whatever you want, then you check it, of course, and once you say OK, and your end users would say OK, they sign up, then it goes production. We also have a very interesting feature, is that you can have dated modifications. So for instance, I can have a business rule that starts to apply from 1st of January. So I'll deploy it, it will be in production, but it will not be used till 1st of January.
And this can be programmed through the speaker?
Yes.
Okay. And it leads to my next question. Is everyone able to speak, or to speak to the AI, and it will understand what is said, or there is maybe specific, let's say, prompts to use so that this action will be generated?
We have some, let's say, keywords. Okay. Like you say, hi Google or hi Alexa, whatever. So we have some very specific keywords to activate some features. Then you have, of course, the language. Then it's just reading. For instance, if you see a screen and you have a button and you want to click on the button, you just name the button, whatever the button is. It is also used, the voice to, let's say, to action can be also used by challenged people. So people that have some mobility problems and so on, they can just use Works with just their speak. So just speak to Works and make it do all the actions they want.
I have my last question, if you're low. Sure. So in some applications, we define who is admin and who can change a feature, who cannot. And I just want to understand if there is this possibility through the speaker.
Sure. Yeah, it's the same thing. So we can build. You can say who can do what, and who can modify, for instance, business rules, business logic, in which processes. So all these things are totally available in Works.
So there is voice recognition already.
No. This is done beyond, let's say, before. So when you log in, so depending on your login, then we know what you are supposed to do or what you can do.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Sorry, I have many questions. I was thinking, because you told us that there are many business analysts that actually are using your tools, which means that very often in businesses, you have the bulk of data that are integrated in the database on specified time, like at 2 a.m. or 8 a.m. on weekdays, not on Sundays and so on. So, which means that when people want to make their or build their own dashboards, let's say with your Works, but very often they are not aware of when the data is refreshed or are loaded every day or every week and so on. To what extent can you address the fact that we may configure requests that are not comparing exactly the same results. If we like, I have my dashboard which are based on historical data taken on Monday at 10 a.m. let's say, and on Tuesday at 6 a.m. I'm trying to compare what I have, and that, but I still have the data of yesterday because today's data are not yet loaded. How do you? Is it something you can address? Because when you develop from scratch, you can do that, but
yeah, you can specify it inside the business rule. So you can say, I need to have this information available whenever the let's say the data is updated. Then I need this information also to be updated. Let's say to have a timestamp or to have something. And in this case, you this timestamp or whatever can be shown in your dashboard and can be shown as a refresh date for your data. Yeah. So we're also at the B21. So we are the B21 booth. So if you want some more discussions, then you are more than we are more than happy to receive you over there. I need to leave the stage, I think. Next one. Thank you.